Cycling is,
You are locked in.
for me, I just want to have fun, man.
It's just simple.
You can get really self-motivated.
Why can't I do what they do?
The man, you know? But now it's daily. So many
One
things.
foot in front of the other.
Why do I cycle? Cycling. Why do I cycle? We started cycling when we were young. Everybody's had their first bike experience, riding their bike, whether it's on 4 wheels or 2. Normally you start on training wheels, I think. I don't remember exactly when I had training wheels when I was biking, but I cycle because it's just, whether it's for the convenience, whether it's because it's able to transport me from one place to the other, or whether it's more of a philosophical adventure or experience when you can ride for a long time and you get into that zone. Cycling has always been pretty dear to me.
For some people it's a competitive thing, but cycling can be competitive. For me, I don't really view cycling as that. I view it as like, it's a way to be outside, you know, a way to be in nature. It's like, it's freedom, isn't it?
I started cycling more seriously when I was at one of my very first corporate jobs. I was working at an IT desk, and I remember sitting at this office desk and it being so boring. Just everybody going to work clocking in at the same time, clocking out at the same time. And I had my bike, I had a commuter bike, I had a fixed gear. I was riding through the city a lot. And that was probably one of the best, most exciting things about going to work and leaving work, was to hop on the bike and to have some sense of joy interweaving through the city, right?
I guess I could thank my parents for introducing me to cycling when I was younger. So I used to go on some, very short bike rides with my dad when I was younger. Just going on my road, man. Just cycling down my road where I lived. Just cycling to the bottom and then coming back. It was only like a 5-minute cycle. And I remember thinking, I was the man, you know?
Going to work, I ride at least 3K a day minimum. And you have to be intentional about this, because you know that in the morning you hop on your bike, you're about to enter serious traffic. If you go down the same path every day for 2 years, you'll remember every pothole, you'll remember every crack in the road to prevent yourself from getting a tire popped.
I used to get a lot of punctures. I used to get a lot of bike punctures, and they are really, really, really annoying.
Sustainability is a big thing. Like, I wish that cities were more designed for bikes. I know there's parts of the world where, like, there are cities that have won awards for pedestrians and cyclists that can live harmoniously together in a city. And I'll be completely honest, where we live right now, cyclists are not exactly respected. Pedestrians are not exactly respected. It's the car that rules the world.
The roads are dangerous here. Some of the drivers are maniacs.
The way that we negotiate the road daily is a degree of risk. And it's really sad that more people don't have the opportunity to be riding their bike. Like, some of them, because of their life, require them to be in a car or in a truck 24 hours a day, or like all day, for a week, and that's their livelihood. And if the roads were designed better and people really paid attention and were happy about sharing the road, I think cycling can really save lives, like you said. You can't, I mean, disadvantages of cycling.
There is definitely some disadvantages.
You're not going long distance, it's expensive if you want a nice bike.
Very fiddly, man.
Safety-wise, you're putting yourself at risk at any given point that you are on your bike here. Anyway,
After like a week of having the bike, we're cycling and the gears are off. They're not aligned. And you can just feel the click and your bike's just not smooth when you're pedaling. It's really frustrating. Every bike means you have to maintain it regularly. Pumping tires regularly. I think I get frustrated with bikes. I love cycling, but I think I get quite frustrated with cycling as well because I feel like we're in 2024 and they're still very, very fiddly, you know? I think it would be a good idea for me personally to do a cycling maintenance course, like a 2-day course, because yeah, I'd say that's the worst thing about cycling.
you could substitute cycling for anything that we take very seriously as a personal journey. I do think that cycling, like anything else, it can get really selfish if you take that time and you do it on your own. The older that I get, I find that the more responsibilities come with age. And so your planning has to be a little bit more better, if not impeccable, if you want to do these rides. And it's usually at the expense of time with other things or other people. I mean, even relationships, man. I think like that's a big one. Like I do want to spend the rest of my life with someone, right? And I think everybody does. And I also want to keep me in touch with my family. I wanted my family to be a part of my life.
OK， 4樓嗰張台我嚟啦。OK， 係咁。你俾到個位喎，攞到個位，我有朋友嚟喎。得。OK， 拜拜。It's my auntie, and she's visiting from Canada with her husband. And next week they'll leave, so it'd be good to see them before they go. I've been spending time with my grandmother and stuff. Her birthday just passed. She turned 90 in June. Born and raised in Guangzhou. And she's seen so much about the way that this place has changed. But the interesting thing about seniors is if they're capable of remembering and if you're willing to listen, there's just so many stories that you can take in from her or from anyone else that's, you know, older. I do a video with Grandma for a long time anyway, right? Because like, I talk a lot about her, and so she like the way that she's talking shit about me right now all day. 老師啊！教書啊！教書啊！老師啊！教書啊！教書啊！教書啊！你唔話教書我都識啊！
But my grandmother also is like the matriarch of our family, right? So there's she has the respect of many of my distant relatives. And I think without her, I think I speak for a lot of people, there's just some core people in life that just keep people together. So like when there's a big event, she's sort of now my surviving grandparent. She's most of maternal and paternal sides of the family get together in the celebration of her.
Years been together, but we've done some stuff, like a lot of traveling stuff together and live abroad. Like, as you can imagine, going on the bike trip together last year was at times hard because you have to push each other. The bike tour was 5 months long. We went to Spain, Italy, Albania, and Montenegro. I would say Spain was the best country we cycled in. The people are very respectful towards cyclists, more than any place I've ever cycled in the world. The countryside was amazing, so beautiful, lovely beaches, the food was nice, the coffee, the cafe culture in Spain, it's amazing. If anyone watching this is into the cafes, get yourself to Spain, it's an amazing place, the coffee's really good. I just love the atmosphere in Spain. I think the lifestyle is so laid back, that's what I loved about it. Yeah, we cycled down from northern Italy, from Bologna all the way to Bari, which is in the south, and Italy was a very, very different experience to Spain. We had some great times there, don't get me wrong. We ate some really nice food, pizza, pastries, pasta. It was great. Good cafe scene. I liked the lifestyle. But the cycling wasn't as good as Spain because the roads had a lot of potholes. Not everywhere, of course, but there's more potholes and it wasn't as smooth generally as Spain. I think the number one problem with cycling in Italy was the driving. I don't know if you know anything about Italian drivers, but in Europe, they are renowned for being the worst drivers. They are terrifying. But yeah, it was great. Still, many ups and downs in Italy, many ups and downs. And then we hopped on the ferry from Italy to Albania. It surprised us in a very good way. The people were so warm and the food was really fresh, kind of similar to Greek food because it's very close to Greece. Naturally very beautiful, not many people, very small population, very beautiful. It's a very welcoming place. And the cycling was great. Well, the cycling was great for Albania. The roads were very, very good. There's loads of beaches and stuff. It's like blue water. It's incredible. And then the last place we went to was Montenegro. Montenegro was one of the most naturally spectacular places I've ever been to. Mountains everywhere, like jaw-dropping. The cycling was good, but at this point, we'd had enough of cycling. But yeah, when we arrived in Montenegro, we just wanted to have a holiday and just relax. We went to the beach. However, probably the best experience of the whole trip was in Montenegro, so it wasn't all negative, you know?
Where did it come from? I think the main, there's like anxiety comes in pangs with me. Wait, okay, let me just try to bring this up with like I do well with anxiety because I high pressure experience. I'm gonna reset this, okay? I'm gonna reset this. I will try just like this mental unrest. Like, oh, I've got stuff to do. I need to do this. This is something that's happening. My mind's telling me, oh, you got to do this stuff. This is. I'm neglecting this. I got to get into this, or I got a class coming in, and I have to deal with this particular individual, or I remember this thing. This is that anxiety is. Man, there's just so much about anxiety. There's so many areas that anxiety comes up, right? Work sometimes gives me anxiety. Work relationships give me anxiety. Age gives me anxiety a little bit, getting older. Hate to say it, but age definitely gives me anxiety a bit. White hairs gives me anxiety. Like love brings me anxiety. My cousin the other day talked to me and she said something, she speaks to me in Cantonese. She said something that really resonated with me, this idea that the relationship that you are in and the person that you're engaged with, whoever it is, a friend or romantic partner, whoever it is a reflection of yourself and how much you can find in yourself to be with that person. How much patience you have for this person, or how much patience, or how you treat this person, or how you spend time with this person, all is a reflection of yourself. You're not really in a relationship with that person, actually. You're in a relationship with yourself. I thought that was really interesting, that, like, what does that mean? It means that, do you have the depth to understand this person? Do you have the time that you're willing to sacrifice of yourself to spend with this person, and vice versa, right? So you learn a lot about yourself through that relationship. So that relationship becomes you. It's just you and yourself. So many fears, scared of a lot of different things.
Fear of failure, which is so obvious, like so common, right? I've realized I have quite a big fear of failure, of not reaching that potential. And I think that scares me personally. I get frustrated and I'm like, why can't I just motivate myself to push myself to do this? So yeah, that's my challenge, is to overcome that fear for sure. And I don't think it's not easy, but I feel like I'm getting there slowly.
The biggest fear would be not meeting my potential, knowing that there's a potential that that's there, and not getting to it. Just knowing that I could do better, and if I don't get there, and because I've squandered the opportunity, that's something that I fear a lot.
Well, the guy who's on this documentary is Alan. I got close to him through cycling.
I connect a lot with George. George and I, when we ride, because we've ridden a couple of times together, as we ride, that connection that we have offers us opportunity to connect and uncover the different layers, the depth.
So we played football together. I met him at football, playing in China about 4 years ago. Thought he's a great guy, really nice guy, very interesting. Connected with him. I remember we just said we're both interested in cycling, and he got a bike, and he joined me cycling with one or two other lads and yourself.
And it was really inspiring because I would talk to him, and we would just get to know each other as strangers. When we were doing something, riding and keeping the bike on and pedaling and getting from one place to another, but we were also sharing stories about where we were from. Just like basic questions about who we were as people, like our families and where we came from. And it's different from if you and I were sitting at the bar and we're talking and just drinking. That's a different vibe.
But I think when you spend time with someone like one-on-one, like in a smaller group away from lots of people, you can really get to know someone.
Oh, I think that as you're on your bike, your heart rate's up too, right? You're pumping, your body's moving, and you're thinking, and you're elevated. And so the conversation becomes more interesting because people are a lot more open with what they're talking about. From cycling, what I've learned is that you can find limitless enjoyment from an activity that is so simple, that there are so many levels to something that is so simple.
It's not this advanced technology which we all have at the moment, in the world right now. It's just simple.
Cycling could have just been a small part of my life. I could really ride a bike maybe 3-4 times a year, but now it's daily. So it's incorporated into my life because I've given it a chance, because I was hooked into it and I've learned about it. So this could be for anything. Anything could become part of my life. And cycling has allowed me to take it on as a daily thing, daily driver. So yeah.
I've learned cycling is fantastic. It's great. It gives you loads of pleasure exciting moments, right? And that sense of freedom, like we've spoken about. But there's also the reality of it as well, which is like it's not as, you know, wonderful as people think lots, you know, things are in life. It's not super easy all the time. It can be hard, but it gives you purpose as well. Because you've still got to put one foot in front of the other and pedal.
And you're saving time and you're beating cars. Like the idea of beating a car from one place to another brings me so much satisfaction that your car can't get to where I get to. Every initial pedal, every initial push off that bike has never been boring. I know that once the bike goes, you are locked in.
Something very rewarding about getting from A to B by just putting your feet on pedals and cycling and just pedaling and then getting from A to B is pretty straightforward. And sometimes simple things are the best things in life, right, as we know. And I think cycling fits into that category. It's just simple.
The GPS is saying, okay, it's going to be a 17-minute walk. No, it's not. I'm just going to scan this bike and it's going to be 5 minutes. And I've just saved 12 minutes of my life on this incredible machine.
And it means you can just go from a town to the countryside, to the sea, to the beach, whatever, through villages. You can do that all in the space of one day without using a car. And I think that's the feeling it gives you. It gives you that sense of freedom.
And so if you haven't cycled, if you don't cycle, now's the time. It saves you incredible amounts of life.